What's up, guys? It's Wes, the People's Pitmaster, coming to you live for Smoke Ring Syndicate. This week, barbecue question and answer. And stay tuned to the end of the video so you can see how you might be able to rock a sweet hat like this one. Come along now. So let's get right into it. Who am I besides a shaky cameraman? I'm Wes Phillips. I own Burnt Bermuda Barbecue. I also own KetoQ.com. It's a Facebook group as well. And then we have also the Backyard Smokers Barbecue group that I have stewardship over, bysbbq.com. Between those two platforms and a couple other barbecue platforms that I have, somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 85,000 people worldwide. And then we're adding the YouTube for you to learn barbecue. You know, I got my start cooking when I was 6 years old. Wish I had some pictures of it. Cooking just some sloppy Joe at home at 6 years old, and kind of transitioned a little bit as I grew up into cooking more outdoor stuff. I cooked everything from marinara outside to broth for soups. Started my love of barbecue probably from my grandfather. He was a big proponent for smoked bratwurst, and still to this day one of my favorite things. What's one of your favorite things to cook? What's your arch nemesis to cook? Let me know down in the comments. I know a lot of people are going to go brisket. So talking brisket, probably the question I get most is brisket. How do I cook a brisket? How do I know a brisket is done? What's the seasoning for a brisket? What temperature do you want to cook it at? Guys, pump the brakes. It's not that difficult. Don't overthink it. It's a big piece of meat. It's a lot of money, yes, but if you stop and slow down, it's easily done. For me, brisket can be done simple, it can be done complex. I'm not a real big fan of sugar on brisket, so I kind of steer away from that. My rub personally is a salt, pepper, Dalmatian style rub. I like to add coffee to my rub, and I also like to add a little bit of ground celery seed and paprika. That's just my preference, and I'll try to drop a picture herein when I go through to edit it with my recipe for my brisket. But brisket for me, it's perfect at 250. You can cook a little bit cooler, you can cook a little bit hotter. 250 for me works. I give it a baseline of about an hour per pound. And I'm not cooking to time, I'm cooking to temperature. The brisket's going to come off for me between 195, 205. I've had them go as high as 210, and it really just depends on the brisket. And you're going to know when it's done is probe tender is what you're looking for. Somebody once told me, think of what it feels like to stick a knife in a jar of peanut butter. For me, that's still a little firm. Hot knife through butter, kind of a little soft, somewhere in the neighborhood between those two. But 250, salt and pepper. And the next question was, what do I cook on, or what is my favorite cooker? I do not have a favorite cooker, just for the simple fact that I have favorite woods. And with any type of cooker, it comes down to the wood selection, your seasoning selection. It really doesn't have a whole lot to do with the pit itself. It's the one that's operating the pit. I've had great barbecue that's come off of electric smokers. I've had great barbecue that's come off of pellet smokers. I've had great barbecue that we were shoveling coal all night and in a burned barrel and throwing it up under the meat there on an open pit style barbecue. We did those with chickens, and that was always a good time. Really tiring because you don't get a whole lot of sleep, but the end product was always awesome. So for me, I don't have a personal favorite pit. I like them all, and I'll cook on them all, and I'm gonna try them all till I try them all. And if they come up with something new, I'm gonna try that one too. The next question: do I travel for barbecue? I have motorcycle wheel travel. You can ask Junior Urias. I did around 24 hours of driving from Atlanta, Georgia to Midland, Texas this year in the summer heat. Matter of fact, I'm rocking my Junior Urias Day shirt. He has got a holiday, and for 3 years now, has had a little party, and I got the opportunity to go out last year and hang out with those guys and do a little bit of cooking with them and learn from them. And I had a pretty cool roommate, Harry Sue. Shout out Harry. Check him out if you haven't already. He's got 1.5 billion YouTube videos that are way more high quality than I got going on here. But consider Harry a friend, consider Junior a friend, and I'm hoping to get to do a whole lot more travel this year with barbecue because of barbecue, and get to share more barbecue with you guys. Some of these questions are questionable. What do I use in my beard? What beard product do I use? I've got the Gray Before Shave. I also use something that my mother actually makes homemade. It's got some cocoa butter in it. At the end of the night, my beard's kind of looking a little haggardy. How do you get barbecue sponsors, or what does a barbecue sponsor? What does a barbecue sponsor look for? I think that's what that says. I'm a better barbecue cook than I am a scribe. For me, I like to put myself in their shoes. If I owned a barbecue company, what would I want to see? I would want to see some hardware, some trophies. I would want to see my product being, put out there in all their postings on social media. Um, but I mean, don't get hung up on sponsorships. Really, I mean, if you've got somebody on your banner, yeah, that's cool. But I mean, it's not a sign of a winning a bunch of contests necessarily. It just means that you've been able to ask and successfully get something from someone. But I mean, it's not a needed thing. If you get out there week in, week out, and you're using the same products and you're having great success, throw them a line and say, hey, thank you. This is what I've been doing. This is what I've been using. This is your product, and I attribute most of my success to that. And hey, I mean, you might get a cool hat out of the deal, or they might throw you a little couple of bottles of rub or something cool like that. But um, it's not something that you need to be a successful barbecue cook, a pit master, or whatever you want to give yourself a title for. Um, you asked, I'm going to tell you. Do I film my YouTube videos in my office in my underwear? No. No, I don't. Where did barbecue take us in 2019? Barbecue took us to 3 or 4 different states. Let's see if we can remember off the top of our head. We went to obviously Georgia. We did some events up in Snellville for the Academy Sports folks. We did an event up with the Saucy Pig up in South Carolina. We turned in some ribs with them. And let's see, through this summer, we were out. I literally am wearing the shirt. We were out for Junior Urias Day out in Midland, Texas. I took a 24-hour ride on my Harley Davidson out to Midland, Texas, and hung out with those guys out there. Let's see, where else did we go? Tennessee. We did the Jack Daniels World Championship as vendors this year, for 2019, and learned a lot. Got really, really wet. Did not realize that you could wring your skin out when it gets to that wet point. So if you get the opportunity to go, bring an umbrella, bring some boots. But that was quite the experience. We got to rub elbows and meet a lot of people. We actually got to feed some cool folks out there, Rug Bagby being one, Swamp Boys Barbecue. I don't know if he's being nice or not, but he liked our brisket. We did some piggy mac brisket over our smoked pimento mac and cheese, and they seemed to enjoy it. And we got to see some other cool folks, and we're hoping 2020 is going to be 3 times as cool with 3 times as many awesome opportunities. So here we are. This is the end. You've made it all the way to the end. Congratulations. This was a short video this week. I did want to stop and mention something. Got some of these hats, B&B charcoal, and I wanted to find a way to give them away, and I thought what better way than to utilize our YouTube channel. So if you've got some questions about barbecue, go ahead and drop them down in the comments section. Because if we pick your question to use in the next BBQ&A video we drop, you'll be rocking a cool hat too. See you next time.